सर ऍडमिट करना है ना किरण सर?
यस यस सज्जन सर.
Should we start?
Ashwin sir, just ask Sunita ma'am. Sunita ma'am wants to say something, I think. Yes, Sunita ma'am. Ishan sir also has given the message. Let me know when to start.
Will we keep hearing the sound of people entering when we start the class the session?
Well, I will mute that sound, sir. Yes, Sunita ma'am.
Yes, yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Ma'am, should we start?
Yeah, just a minute. I have to do some announcement and then we can start the sessions. Okay. Yeah, good afternoon, one and all present here. Dear students, that today we are going to finish our 1 week of student induction program schedule. And the next week, that is starting from 25th January to 30th January 2021, excluding the 26th Jan, that is, which is on Tuesday, we are going to start a second week schedule in which the morning session will be kept for the foundation of subjects, and the afternoon session, we will continue with the second week of student induction program schedule. For second week timetable schedule, it will be shared by tomorrow evening. Second important part is on Monday, we are going to distribute the resource book of all the subjects of both the groups. And for this also, we are going to share the schedule by tomorrow, that is on 24th evening. Through some sessions, I came to know when I was interacting with the faculty members that you are facing difficulty in filling the enrollment form on this university portal. So don't get panic. Still the time is there because the admission process is going on. So it may be a problem from the university side. We have already conveyed our grievance to university. Okay, so it is working. Last date is not 31st. It is going to be extended. Okay, so don't get panic. If you have to just check this portal whenever it will open, you can fill the information again. If you are facing, then we will let you know what you have to do now. Okay, so thank you. Yeah, Ashwin sir, you can start. Over to you, Ashwin sir.
Okay, ma'am. A very good afternoon to everyone here present. Myself, Ashwin, and here I am going to welcome our eminent person, Mr. Eshan Arya. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Ashwin sir, and good afternoon, everyone.
Okay, so here Eshan sir is an award-winning sectional lecturer and tutor at Latrobe Business School since 2012. He has completed his bachelor's in economics and master degree in international relations. Right now, he is pursuing his PhD in social science. He has authored around 45 newspapers and community magazine articles and 3 non-academic journals. He has lectured around more than 9,500 students across the whole world and in the sector of business management, international relation, and marketing, as well as HR and economics. He is a YouTuber who is having a content based on business management, which is having a video in multilingual languages like English, Hindi, and Marathi. Ishan sir has a vast international experience in private, public, and not-for-profit sectors. He is the founder of former BPO business, which is not-for-profit organization. He is in Australia's largest and most successful student union ticket and Melbourne's first Bollywood dance fitness program student. He has also been committee member for Latrobe University, Academic Board, Academic Quality Committee, and Internationalization Strategy Committee. He's also an associate with Alexandria Agenda which provides ethical consultation and training to businesses, governments, universities, NGOs, and international organizations to handle complex relationships involving diverse stakeholders. He is also a cross-cultural and socio-economic advisor and host his own Hindi language community radio on Sanji Awaz Radio. Eshan is currently the world's youngest sixth Dangoju Ryu black belt recognized by the World Martial Art Organization. He is a regular guest hand-to-hand combat trainer for INS Hamla, Indian Navy Sea Cadet Corps, and Mumbai Reserve Police Force. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for accepting our request and giving us or enlightening us for this session. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you very much for inviting me. And it's a pleasure to be back at this wonderful institute with all the wonderful faculty who is so enthusiastic. So I really feel nice to speak to all the students, and a warm welcome to all the students as well. So let me share my screen quickly and then we will begin with my part. I wish I could have a very interactive lecture, but unfortunately there are more than 250 students. So we'll see how it goes, okay? I'll open the chat box as well, just in case. So I think the organizers and faculty can keep an eye on the chat box because...
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just a sec, there it is. I wasn't able to find it, but I found it now. It's all good. All right, so everyone, quick question to you. And I know
Eshan sir, sorry to interrupt. Can you please hold your camera in such a way we couldn't able to see the face actually. We just able to see the part beyond the eyes, below the eyes.
Really?
No.
Complete,
Kiran, it's Eshan sir is completely visible. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Sorry.
No problem. And is my slide visible as well?
Yes, sir. Perfect. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes.
All right. So my first question to everyone, today, well, I've been invited to speak to all the first year students who have been going through the induction at Thakur College. So my first question to everyone is, why are you here? And I know you don't have to unmute yourself and answer. You can answer to yourself. If you're sitting as a group, you can speak to someone who is next to you. Or if some of you are bold enough, you can even type in the chat box if you have the permission to do so. And the reason why I'm asking this question, it's very interesting. I'm 35 now, and a lot of us, I'm sure a lot of faculty will agree as well. Many of us reach a particular age and we start questioning ourselves, what are we doing here? It could be a university, it could be in life, that question, what's going on, okay? What's the purpose? Like, what am I doing in this institute? What am I doing in this particular profession? And all your students are pretty young. So I thought, why do you have to wait for decades, for years and years and years until you ask yourself this question? Instead, I will throw this very important question to you right now, straight away, okay? Like, why are you here? I like the first answer that is coming from Ganesh, who is saying, for taking motivation and experience from you. Thank you, Ganesh. Well, I appreciate that. I hope I can motivate. And Rohit has replied as well, to explore myself in the field of science and to say where it goes. Now, I won't read all the answers, but Ganesh and Rohit, well done to be one of the first students to reply. Well done, guys. I'm asking myself this question as well. What am I doing here? And I literally mean here, right now. So I'm in Melbourne and it's past 9 p.m. It's a Saturday night. So all the youngsters can relate to this. It's a Saturday night, 9 p.m. and I'm on my laptop talking to students. So what am I doing here as well? Is this going to go on my CV? Am I getting paid? No. Am I doing this because I love Thakur College? Yeah, maybe that's the reason. Maybe I like the faculty. That could be it. Only I know the answer. And to be truthful to you, I get joy. I get happiness when I speak to students. I really feel nice. I feel content when I speak out to a large audience. So literally, I'm being selfish right now. I'm speaking to all of you for my own happiness as well. Well, that's not the only intention, but it's making me happy. Okay. On a Saturday night at 9 p.m. in Melbourne, I'm enjoying speaking to a group of 250 students. That's why I'm here. And I'm sure each of you, good answers aside, ideal answers aside, not what I want to hear, not what your parents want to hear, but don't write in the chat box now, but ask yourself, what are you doing not just for this lecture? What are you doing at Thakur College? What are you doing with your life? Why are you here? Why have you taken up engineering? Okay. And you don't have to answer the questions I pose right away. Take your time. You could answer it in the next few days. You could answer it in the next year. But I would suggest this very strongly to you. Keep asking this to you, to yourself, deep inside, again and again. Okay. And see, you don't always get a very satisfactory answer. You don't always get an answer that is the best option. Sometimes, when you start answering this question, why are you here? You will have to face a harsh reality. Maybe you're doing it because of a pressure from the society. Maybe you're doing it because that is the trend. It's okay. There's nothing to feel bad about it. But be true to yourself. And that is the first step, being true to yourself, knowing exactly what you're doing in your life, finding those answers. It's going to give you a better channel in your life for happiness, success, maybe, okay, but to be content with what you're doing, okay? You're going to find that inner satisfaction if you really dig deeper, if you question yourself about this particular idea again and again and again and again, okay? So on that note, guys, I know Ashwin sir was very kind to give my introduction, but let me quickly talk to you about my own, about myself. It's best heard from the person themselves. So I'll quickly give you all an idea about my story prior to 2008. So before 2008, and there's a reason why I got this particular year. It's the year when I moved to Australia. So before that, while in India, I was a karate coach of the month. I was featured in a very internationally acclaimed magazine called Martial Arts World, because I love martial arts. I'm very passionate about it. I was one of the martial arts coaches at Ines Hamla. So those of you in Mumbai would know Ines Hamla pretty well. I run my own martial arts school. I was the world's youngest third dan black belt in 3 styles at the same time. Now I'm the youngest in the world 6 dan black belt. But back then I was the youngest third dan. I was an animal activist. I was pretty vocal. I used to be out on the streets in participating in protests for animal rights, for street dogs rights as well. As a kid, I had traveled more than 12 countries with my parents. I was ship schooled. I know some of you must have heard the term homeschooling, right? Many students whose parents or family are in army sometimes go from place to place. They don't have a stable life in one place and they get homeschooled. So similarly, I was ship schooled for quite a while. So I used to sail with my father, who now is close to retirement, was a captain in Merchant Navy. So I used to sail with him for half the semester sometimes less, sometimes more. And my mother used to teach me on the ship. So that was ship schooling, if a term you haven't heard of before. I was a pretty bright student at university, at school. I used to be someone helping others all the time. So I would literally take up, sessions in the library in a free time. Instead of just goofing around, I would head to the library at my university, see if any of my friends needed any help, they had any conceptual difficulties, and I used to help them out, free of course. And it wasn't a business, it was more on a friendly note. Hey, I'm in the library. Did you understand that particular topic? No, come, I'll explain it to you. So I used to be pretty good, and then boom, tragedy. So why am I going to tell you now about my quick tragedy? Because guys, many times in life, we learn a lot from our failures, okay? And that's one of my tips for you today. It's from me. Whether you want to take it on board, it's really up to you. But stop reading, seriously, stop reading all those books and all those articles that say 10 steps to success, 10 habits of influential people, 10 rules in life that will make you a millionaire. Learn from this millionaire, learn from that successful person, success this, success. I'll say stop reading that. Okay. It has become a cliche. It's too common now. Okay. And it's not really helping. We have a lot of depressed people getting more and more depressed after reading success stories. You know what? Read books. After this session today, jump onto Google and start typing book about failure. Okay. Try to look into the lives of people who have failed. Try to learn from people who have reached the rock bottom. Try to learn from them. Learn what failure is. You know what? This is one of the things that I learned in karate, in martial arts as well. It's not about how I hit someone. It's not how fast I throw the punches. It is about how many punches can I take? Sometimes you have very good mixed martial arts fighters, really swift, but they take one punch and out. They get knocked out. Why? They haven't learned how to take a beating. In karate, we were trained how to take a beating. Okay. So we knew what it feels to be hit on the face, how it feels to be smashed on your ribs. Okay. How it feels when your kidneys are injured, when your lungs are injured as well. So that's what we were trained. And that is what life is about as well. Learn from failures. Learn what failure is. Try to speak to someone who has failed in their life. Learn from their experience. You're speaking to that person. So that person has survived. It's a survival story. Definitely a lot to learn from that. Look around you, thousands and thousands of people when you're traveling by train, when you're traveling by bus. Not necessarily everyone is a millionaire. Learn from those people. Many of them have a nice smile on their face. They're leading a nice, content life. Technically, with a dictionary meaning or what's a modern meaning, they may not be called successful by the society. But hey, I would say there's so much to learn from these people. I learned a lot of things the hard way as well. Despite being a very bright student, when I was doing a bachelor's in physics, actually, when I got my physics third year results, I had received terrible marks. I had received single digit marks. Can you believe it? 9 out of 100, 6 out of 100, 3 out of 100. Now, definitely, it came as a very, very rude shock to me. I was in denial. I was absolutely, it was unreal. I felt it was a bad dream. I didn't know what was going on. For someone who was doing very good in the private classes, I was doing very good with my tuitions as well. All my lecturers, all my tutors were happy with my progress. I was someone who was helping other people. In the library, how on earth will I receive 3 out of 100, 6 out of 100? It was impossible, but it happened. It took away many, many years of my life as well. Okay. Today, when I look back, I don't say those years were wasted. I say I did something good in those years. I learned something from it. Okay. We investigated. My family didn't give up. We didn't give up. We asked for re-evaluation. When we asked for re-evaluation, my papers were shown to me. They were ripped off. They were missing. We said those papers are missing. And the people on the other end said, sorry, this is what it is. You can't touch the papers. This is what's submitted to us. We lodged police complaints. We got a private detective. We investigated more. You must be wondering, wow, this is like a movie. But you know what? Movies in their place. Sometimes such horrible things happen to real people. They could happen to you. They could happen to anyone. It has happened to me. It's all about how we get out of that. Okay, how we move on. And trust me, some people cannot move on. Okay, it's very sad. Let us not blame them. Never blame the victim. That's terrible. Okay, but we can feel sorry for someone who fails to get out of that difficulty. Okay, luckily, some of us do get out of it. So if you want to get inspiration, forget me. Look for someone who has hit the rock bottom. Learn from their story how they got up. Yeah, stop reading those books about success, success, success. Earn crores and earn millions. So what happened, guys, in my case, I later on found out that it was my own relative, someone from my family, who was in this black market for selling papers, for selling answers. So answer sheets were being ripped off, answers were being ripped off, stuck into other students' papers who were, those papers were being sold for lakhs of rupees because my answers were brilliant, brilliantly written answers, just like your Navneet guide, you know, ideal answers. So did I know about this? No. How on earth would I ever know about this black market? For me, like I said today, it was like a bad dream. I had no clue what was going on. Every day when new things used to come up, I used to be in shock. It was a family member. We could either persecute, we could take a legal action against this person, or we could move on. I decided to move on. Some of you must be saying, what? Why did you move on? You know, get that person in jail. No, it was my choice. It was my family's choice. You know, somewhere down, we believe in karma as well. And it's karma. It's not just related to India. Internationally, I'm in Melbourne now. People believe in karma, you know. Things go around. You're accountable for your actions somewhere in your life. So we moved on. I decided to get out of India. I was stuck. Okay, I was victimized. My talent was not going anywhere. So I moved to Australia. Things are looking okay right now. Okay, well, being invited to you guys, it means definitely I moved on from that tragedy, isn't it? But guys, during that time, during that bad phase, you know, I had brilliant support from my family. And you know what? Don't wait to be supported by your family. You could be that person who supports others. What did I learn from the support I received from my family? That it meant a lot to me. The trust they had in me meant a lot, which means I got to do the same to somebody else. Next time somebody is a victim, somebody is, there's a conspiracy against them, they are being targeted, they're not receiving any support, be that person who supports the other one. Don't be the one who is asking people to get to receive support from. Be the person who gives support. Trust me, you'll get a lot of happiness in your life. So with the support of my family in that tragic period, I went on to learn accounting from my uncle. I learned about land evaluation from another family member. I learned how to operate a call center, worked as a director. I went for theater school. I was passionate, not passionate, I just wanted to explore what acting was all about. I did some acting classes. I went to a finishing school, did some grooming, did some etiquette with Sabira Merchant, did some public speaking classes as well, continued to run my martial arts school, did the best I could in that tragic period. Guys, I wish you all happiness and luck. But remember, it may not always happen. Things may go south. Things may not work your way. In that period, I won't say stop, try to get out of that depression and ask yourself, what's the best you can do? And I'm going to talk about it later. Okay, I'm going to talk to you quickly. We have limited time, okay? But I'll try to cover a few points that will help you get out of that situation. Now, since 2008, Ashwin sir has already spoken about me, but then I won an award for lecturing. You know, it was a student popularity award, so not a management award. It was from real people, real students who voted for me. So I'm more proud about this award than any other award. I've been on the cover for an Indian magazine, which is the #1 seller in Australia, for my volunteer work. A lot of government bodies, private sectors, public sectors, educational sectors usually invite me for their meetings so that I can give in my input about policy as well. I also, guys, specialize in lecturing students with learning disabilities. I don't have a formal training. It comes naturally to me, okay? So I'm not a formally trained psychologist or anything, but it naturally comes to me. I am pretty good in teaching, communicating with students at tertiary and primary level, secondary level as well, who have learning disabilities. I'm also one of the staff members at my university who is an ally. If you're not sure what an ally is, ALLY, Google it. So we are staff members who have been trained and who give extra support, you know, who get to LGBTIQ community. So if we have students belonging to the queer community, they can come and chat with us about their problems. We are the staff members who are officially trained to speak to the students, to talk about their queries. And I also specialize in lecturing students of refugee backgrounds. So that's my little expertise. A little update from my biodata. Now I've lectured over 12,000 students because I conduct a lot of lectures in bulk sometimes, and at university our classes run full on. So we got 200, 300 students for each subject each semester. So that number just doubles each time. I have a good experience in teaching students from different countries. So I just love to communicate with them. Recently, I also founded Ichni-san. It's a think tank for those of you who love debates, who love critical thinking and critical analysis of issues. I've founded an institute. Get in touch with me if you like to participate. I've also started my own karate style. It's called Arya Kai. Arya comes with my family name. So Arya Kai, like Cobra Kai, okay? Arya Kai Goju Ryu. So I've started that in Melbourne, and you guys have heard about my work as well. Also based on all my experience in life and the exposure, I conduct grooming sessions that include business etiquette, personality development. It's all inspired from what I've seen, what I've communicated, what I've learned. So this is another note for everyone. Don't just rely on formal education. Talk to people, reach out to people, reach out in different areas. Don't just say, I'm a science student, I'm an engineering student, I don't care about anything else. No, explore. That will give you a brilliant, completely rounded 360 degrees developed personality that will help you in life. Okay, so with all this, guys, with all my achievements in Melbourne, do you think I'm successful? Am I successful? I don't care. I don't care about this question. I don't care whether I'm successful or not. Okay, who cares? I don't care. Okay, and that's what I feel all of you should also tell yourself. Please stop worrying about success. Okay, don't start thinking, hey, am I successful? Hey, my friends think I'm successful. I'm more successful than my colleague. Whether it is staff, whether it is students, let us not get into that. I'm 29, that person is 45, 29-year-old is more successful than 45-year-old, 35-year-old has more money than 50-year-old. Stop thinking about who is more successful. At least I don't do that. I don't care about this question at all. What do I care about? I care about whether I sleep at night guilt-free. Okay, I don't like to sleep at night feeling guilty about something. Have I positively impacted someone or something on a weekly basis? Now, you can do that as well. All of you could do that too. It doesn't have to be weekly. It could be daily. It could be monthly. It could be annual. Up to you. But maybe good to ask yourself, have you impacted someone's life or something in a positive way? Ask yourself that. I ask myself, are people around me happy? Do people around me feel comfortable? When I go out with my friends or with my colleagues, my aim is not to be the smart ass person. My aim is not to be the smarty who knows everything, who has an opinion in everything, who argues with everyone. No, I have my opinion, I have deep knowledge, but my aim is to make sure people around me feel comfortable in my presence. Ask yourself that. When you enter the room, do people say, nice, this person is so comforting, we feel like talking to this person? Or are people going to say, this person is a headache? This person is a general knowledge bank, just goes on and on and on and on. Ask yourself that question. I also ask myself, am I doing justice to my skills and talent? If I have gathered certain skills in my life, what's the point of those? Am I doing something about it? Well, I better do. That's what I strive to do. And another important question is, am I content? Okay. And if I'm not content with what I'm doing, what can I do about it? So these are the questions that I, as a person, and I feel you could try as well. Okay. These are the questions that help you grow, help you evolve, help you develop as well. Stop thinking about that success part. Dump it aside. There are so many nicer questions that you can focus on that will give you food for thought. It will give you ideas for action as well. So that is something that I would recommend. And lastly, of course, also check if I was a good influence on someone. I'm sure some people look up to me as a role model. So I'm a father now. I'm a father of twins. My twins look up to me as well. So the way I speak, the way I conduct myself, okay, am I a good influence on people around me? And that is something you could do as well. Now, quickly, moving on, all engineering students, right? Tell me something, guys. When you are in engineering, you're starting your journey now, what's gonna happen to you? The answer is on the screen. Let's see who can answer in the chat box. Let's see who is the first who gets this one. So my question is, during your engineering, yay, so this was Abhay and Siddhesh and Vikrant, there you go. I'll ask the faculty to give you some toffees, okay? For being, and Rohit as well is answering, correct, very good, pressure, okay? So during your engineering, and everyone is answering, brilliant. And we have Rahul, Sahil, Abhishek, and I'm not able to catch up with all the names. So everyone's given the correct answer, very good. So during engineering, you're gonna have a lot of pressure, right? So let's hopefully in my lecture today, you learn about life and how to deal with engineering. See, I'm not here to tell you 101 rules how to deal with engineering, okay? Someone else can do that. I'm gonna talk about an overall overview of conducting yourself that will lessen this pressure, hopefully. And you know what? What happens after engineering? Who knows this particular symbol? So what happens after you complete your engineering? Who's gonna give me this answer? Anyone knows this symbol? After you complete your engineering, this is what's gonna happen. Might happen. This is a symbol for Rohit. Good. What do you say? Good try, Rohit. But now you're getting close to it. Rohit is saying compression. What happens then, Rohit? Akash is a pressure hazard explosion. You guys are there, blast. High pressure. That's what I was looking for. Okay, high pressure. But you guys got it. Very good. You're giving pretty good synonyms, which is fantastic. So very good students, huh? Faculty, you got very good students there. So basically, this is high pressure. So my point was, I'm not demotivating you here, but during engineering, you have pressure. After engineering, you have high pressure. Why do you have so much high pressure after engineering, right? We're gonna check that out. So today now, in the remaining part, let's see, I got maybe half an hour more, or maybe 40 minutes. I'll give you some tips for releasing the pressure. This is the pressure coming out from the pressure cooker, okay? So to release the pressure. And we are going to look at a few internal and external approaches. Internal as in intrinsic, and external as in extrinsic approaches, okay? So we're gonna have a look at a few. Remember, I'm not a person who is going to tell you, do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, done, success guaranteed. No, I like to tell you in general about different approaches, and then you can take control of what I say, and you can decide to yourself how you can customize, okay? Personalize those tips in your own life, okay? If someone tells you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 success, don't believe that person, because everybody is different, okay? So let's look at a few intrinsic approaches, okay? Guys, there is no magic formula, all right? No magical formula, unfortunately. All the formulae in your engineering, but in life, no magic formula, sorry. At least I won't give you any, all right? So I would suggest the following points. I would say, first of all, now this goes with life, this goes with your content, your engineering degree, it goes with your journey as future engineers, okay? Focus on what matters. Now you could use all these tips in different contexts, okay? So you could ask yourself, do marks matter? Does my attendance matter? Does sitting on the first bench matter? Does sitting on the last bench matter? Okay, does completing the journal on time matter? What matters? Ask yourself that question. First of all, ask yourself the first question I gave you. Why are you here? Why are you at Thakur College? Why are you doing engineering? Why are you pursuing that degree? And once you got that answer on an everyday basis, ask yourself, what matters? Okay? Accept what you can control. You see, some things in life cannot be controlled. In my case, in one phase of my life, things were not in my control. I had to accept it. I had to accept it. I had to move on. Okay? If I was stuck there, I'm not sure what would have happened. So accept what you can control, what you cannot control. Okay? Accept the outcomes of the plan. Okay? And plan ahead. So if you, for example, if you stop attending classes, you fail, or you get a letter from the university at your home saying, you're not attending, come visit with your parents, you know, you have been blacklisted. Well, you knew what you were doing. Okay? You knew what mattered. You knew why you're at a university. So accept it. Accept what you have done, that you have messed up maybe. Okay? And accept the outcome. Now deal with the outcome. Don't start crying. Don't go into depression. Oh my God, you know, a letter has come to my family. My family is going to be so angry at me. I let everyone down. Stop. Deal with the situation. Okay? Whatever happened has happened. What is in your control? What is not in your control? What's going to happen next? Plan ahead. Start fixing things. Start working on the solution. Don't get trapped into thinking something again and again that you cannot control anymore. Now be true to yourself as well. Think about the consequences of your actions. Remind yourself again and again. If you feel lethargic, everyone, okay, let's say most people, in some point of their life do feel lethargic. They procrastinate. Okay? Sometimes, you know, someone who's very hardworking just doesn't feel like getting up. Happens. It will happen to you students as well. Someone who is always on time at university, always completing the journals on time. There could be a little stage where you feel down. You feel you just don't have motivation. Okay. Ask yourself why it's happening. Accept it. Be true to yourself. Think about the outcome. Think what the worst outcome could be as well. Start planning. Maybe get out of it, or if you feel you can't get out of it, start planning how to deal with the outcome, okay, as a result of your actions. And that brings me to the next point. Please seek timely help from counselors as well. I'm sure the staff can confirm, I'm sure Thakur College may have some counseling sessions as well. If yes, I'm not sure, but if not, they could tell you where to go. There is no shame in asking for help. There is never shame in asking for help, okay? Please remember that. If someone is struggling, nothing to hide, nothing to be afraid of. Talk to someone, okay? Not just your friend. Talk to someone experienced. Talk to your staff. Talk to the counselors. Tell them that you're struggling, okay? They will help you come out of it. So seek proper qualified help, okay? Help from people who are qualified. Don't just Google things, okay? Don't Google, I'm depressed, how do I get out? Trust me, Google will depress you even more. So talk to qualified people. And see, have that little motto in life about treating the disease, not just the symptoms, okay? It's not just about taking a Panadol, taking a Crocin, reducing the temperature. It's about getting healthier inside. So that goes with your education as well. That goes with your life as well. Don't just treat the superficial symptoms. Ask yourself if there is a problem that you're facing. Go to the root cause of the problem. Try to get deeper insights and ask yourself, how can you fix things from within yourself? That is a very intrinsic approach. Intrinsic approach is internal, okay? You could meditate, you could take time to yourself, okay? I'm not saying don't do it, but see, many times people just waste their time listening to music, watching videos. Ask yourself, I'm pretty sure, you know, it's good we are having modern technology nowadays. At least on my phone is 4 years old. I got that software on my phone. It's called Screen Time. It tells you, and you can actually put a command. If you are opening your phone and watching things beyond a certain time, the phone warns you about it. Start getting organized. Start using those apps as well. Control how much time you are looking at screens, how much time you're listening to songs that make no sense. Sometimes they're okay, trust me. Okay, now I'm not here to tell you don't listen to songs. I love songs as well. Yeah, blast music, no problem. It relieves stress. I agree. But are you becoming over reliant on songs? Are songs, videos taking your time away from you where you can think, you can introspect, where you can think about life, what you're doing, where you can have time to yourself, plan ahead? If it's taking that time, if it's invading your personal space, you know how your friends sometimes invade your personal space. Similarly, if you feel that technology is invading your personal space, stop it. Get control of your life and focus on all these questions, because that will give you intrinsic motivation. Okay, that is something you control. None of us can help you with. Okay, and that will help you to stay on path, or at least if you start deviating, it'll help you to come back like a magnet. So hopefully these tips will help you a little bit. Okay, so what's life after engineering, by the way? Let's move after engineering, the high pressure thing that I told you. Some of you, or most of you, let's say, let's be optimistic, will get a job of your choice. Well done. Some of you will just pick any job that's available. You may have financial pressures. I understand that, right? So some students might have financial pressures. Those students will just pick up any job possible so the earning can begin. Understandable, that's fine. Some people will pick a job in another field altogether, engineers working in banks, very common. You might start your own business, join family business, okay? Some might go for further studies, higher education, PhDs, more. Some of you, maybe many of you will plan to go abroad, possible. So it's very popular nowadays. A lot of engineers are going for civil services. So some of you might go for civil services. Some of you will just start giving all those entrance exams, right? MSCT, CAT, MAT, SAT, NMAT, the list just goes on, SAT, whatever it is. Okay, for MBA, everyone wants to be an MBA. So some of you will choose this path. For some of you, nothing might work, okay? So this is life afterwards. That's why I say it's very high pressure life. So with this life, this is a very predictable, a standard life that most engineers would opt for. What happens afterwards when you opt for one of these options? What will really matter to you when you step up in the real world and you look at those particular options? Your degree will matter to you, of course, no doubt about it. So people will go, all right, what kind of engineering, what college have you completed the engineering from? So that will matter. Your grades will matter. But what will matter more? I would say your knowledge will matter more, okay? And don't just be a person with 100 degrees, be a knowledgeable person. Yes, your grades will matter because there is hyper competition in India. But at the end of the day, your knowledge is going to impress the interview panel as well. And many times people go, well, this person has a degree from a particular institute. This person has average grades, but look how knowledgeable this person is. This person is very good for the brand. Nowadays companies, corporates, not nowadays, since history, they care a lot about their brand. And they want those people who will do justice to the brand. And for that, one of the key aspects is your knowledge and your personality. And that's where I'm going to take the next part of my talk to. Your personality will also matter a lot. And by personality, guys, I'm not talking about looks. Who cares about looks? We are born the way we are born. I'm talking about what's in your control, okay? What you can actually shape. So that is having a sound mind. What do you do for having a sound mind? Follow my tips for intrinsic approaches, internal approaches. Those will help you. Okay, I'm not saying it's a magic formula. I never say that. But it will help you, assist you to have a sound mind. And the next part that we're going to look at is the extrinsic, the external approaches. Those will help you with the last point on your screen, and that is having great, and I'm not saying good, let's aim for greatness, okay? Great presentability. That is the way you present yourself, okay? So this is my last part, everyone. this extrinsic approach is going to help you to build that presentability. It's going to help you have an impactful personality, a personality that no one forgets. You don't want to be one that someone met and forgot in the next hour, who people forgot the next day. You want to be someone who people remember and give an example of. See, even today, when I talk to people, sometimes when I give lectures, I refer to some people. I say, I had met this person said something to me, I will never forget. So for that, you need to have that impactful personality, the way you present yourself. So for that, I have a few points to you today with the limited time that we have, and I'll touch on a few points now and then, okay? So the first one, it's not in any particular order of importance, okay? It's not about one being higher than the other. It's all these points that matter. The first one is LinkedIn. Okay, now you don't have to answer, but how many of you, I'm just curious, okay? How many of you are on LinkedIn? If you are not, I would suggest make a LinkedIn profile, okay? And start working on developing a portfolio on LinkedIn. Many times LinkedIn is what headhunters, HR professionals actually look for, and that's where they get, they actually, some people get jobs through LinkedIn. You'll be surprised. Akash is saying he plans to, very good Akash, that's the spirit. Don't wait for later. Some of you will say, you know what, I'm young, I've just gone to university, LinkedIn is for professionals. Not true. Make a profile now, and your profile will represent you, okay? So that's going to be like your own portfolio, your growth portfolio. A few things for LinkedIn. Sometimes it depends from job to job, okay? I'm not saying everyone has to be suited, but at least don't put a silly photo. Make sure you're visible. You're not wearing sunnies or sunglasses. Don't try to be a fashionable person on LinkedIn. Be decent, well-dressed, presentable. Remember what I said? People shouldn't feel intimidated. They should feel pleasant. You shouldn't make a clown out of yourself. Don't put a photo that is so close to the screen. Don't put a photo of you when you were a teen, when you were 12 years old. Okay, that's not how you look now. Don't put a photo of you in swimming or at a party with your friends. Make it look decent. Okay, that's what I would say. In a suit, good. But see, you're students, right? I usually tell people your profile pic on LinkedIn should represent you at the stage of life you're in. So my recommendation, okay, and remember what I said, this is not a rule, okay? Life is not about strict rules, it's all about recommendations. My recommendation is, if you are at your lab, in your physics lab or engineering lab with some equipment, if it's allowed, okay, of course, to take a photo doing an experiment, put it on LinkedIn, very impressive, okay? Or take a photo in your lab coat when you're doing work. That's what you are, that's what you're as a student. No need to suit up. Okay, why would a 17, 18-year-old suit up and take a LinkedIn photo? Not realistic. Once you graduate, then you can suit up, okay? Some people are fitness instructors. They will pose with their biceps, that is fine. Are you planning to be a fitness instructor? Then pose with your biceps. If not, even if you got massive biceps, don't pose with them, okay? So try to do that is relevant. I'm quickly going to check the chat because I think a lot of students are typing. I don't want to miss what they're saying. Okay, yeah. Thaivat is saying tuxedo. Thaivat, tuxedo, if, now you know what my answer is, right? If it is relevant, okay? If you're running a family business, if you are at a senior level in your family business, you're going for meetings with professionals, okay, suit up, no problem. But do that is relevant, okay? See, if I'm a headhunter, I'm looking at your profile, I will say, hey, this guy is 17, 18-year-old student, why wearing a tux? Why showing biceps, okay? So do what is relevant. Let's move on now from that part. Next is the content that you write. On LinkedIn, LinkedIn is not Facebook, it's not Insta or TikTok. Do not post about your private life, post about your professional life. As a student, what is your professional life? Attending lectures, Okay, so what will you type? Today I attended a lecture by this person. This is what I learned. This is what I got inspired. See, now it's okay. Yeah, but don't just take a photo with your friends, yeah, in a lecture. That's not professional. Okay. If you're in a lab, you're doing a certain experiment, take a photo and say, at my lab, today we learned about XYZ equipment. We learned about compression. We learned how this particular engine works. It was very interesting. This reminds me of this particular person from the Industrial Revolution time. You know, that's how you link things. That will be more relevant, okay? Because this will also help you with networking. That brings me to the next part. Through LinkedIn, try to network as well. Start following, don't start following. I mean, I'm not saying don't. You can follow Bill Gates, but once again, I would say stop that approach of just following super successful people, billionaires. And everyone likes to follow Bill Gates. Everyone likes to follow Elon Musk. You can follow him on Twitter, Insta, Twitter, Facebook, that's fine. On LinkedIn, look for people relevant in your field. So if you are doing chemical engineering, for example, who are prominent personalities who have got good patents in chemical engineering, follow those people. See what they have to say, because there'll be a lot real ground reality things to learn from those people, okay? For motivation, go online, use Insta, Facebook, Twitter, get inspired, look at motivational quotes. But on LinkedIn, look at people from your sector, okay? If something interests you, a particular field in engineering really interests you, dig deeper. Hashtag that particular field, okay? Hashtag whatever. You can hashtag space science, for example, okay? Or hashtag maybe solar panels, you know, modern solar panels, difference between old and new solar panels. So look at things that interest you. Look at clean energy, for example, and follow people who are prominent in that field, okay? So that is LinkedIn. I can go on and on and on, but I would say these tips are a good starter, okay? Feel free to write articles as well, and articles are not your opinion. Don't just say, this politician came up with this policy, I don't like it. Don't say that. Article will be about your interest. If you feel very passionate in a certain area of engineering, start writing articles, okay? So the next part is networking, okay? So networking events, just Google, you know, you should know what to Google. Just Google networking events in Mumbai or wherever you're based. I know a lot of bogus events will come up as well, but try to look for those that are actually sponsored by certain industry or corporate bodies, because those are the networking events that you would want to attend, okay? At networking events, as students, there is not much you can do. These are very useful in your third year or fourth year when you're ready to look for jobs. Excuse me, sorry. But networking events are good to meet people, to learn from them once again, to see what steps they have taken in their life. It could be about, you know, someone you might meet in your industry who is a CEO of a big engineering tech firm, or someone who owns a lot of manufacturing units. You might meet that person at a networking event. Talk to them, you know, what was the process to set things? Ask them, what does that person, what do those people look for in fresh graduates? So look for those kind of networking events. I must warn you though, there are a lot of scams in the name of networking events. And these scams are all pyramid marketing. So they will say, you know, they'll come in suits and say, all you have to do is sign up to other people, and those two people sign up to other people. Trust me, life is not going to take you anywhere if you sign up to those pyramid schemes, okay? The moment someone comes to you and says, do you have free time? Do you want to spare 15 minutes of your day and earn money? All you have to do is sit online. You know what? Ask those people to get lost. Seriously, those are my words. I don't have polite words because those are scamsters. So get rid of that. Don't confuse that with your networking. Look for people in your field. Ask them what they look into graduates, what particular specialties or specialization is in demand, and speak to people. Now, during networking, let me go to the etiquette part as well. It is very important how you conduct yourself. Be a person who is assertive. Don't be a person who is aggressive. Assertiveness means you are frank, okay? You don't have to run around the bush. You don't have to butter people up. At the same time, you shouldn't hurt people. It doesn't mean that you have to say yes to everything. It doesn't mean you just disagree with everything. An assertive person is clear with what they feel in a way that they don't hurt the other person. If you don't agree with me, instead of saying, Eshan, we don't agree with you, this doesn't make sense, you would say, Eshan, that is a very interesting point. I wouldn't have thought about it this way, but now, because I don't think it's going to work, I'm going to reflect on what you said. Maybe I could learn a few other things. So you're making it clear that you just don't want to say yes to everything, but you're also making clear that you're interested to know more. That brings me to the next point, empathize. Okay, always empathize with people. And empathy, and everyone throws that term without knowing what it means. It literally means stepping into the shoes of the other person. Okay, so whether you're having an argument, whether you're learning from someone, whether it's a politician, whether it's a leader, try to empathize. Why is that person saying so? And once you do that, it will help you with your personality. It will tone down the aggression in your personality. We see a lot of students at two ends of the spectrum. Very, very timid or very, very aggressive. Where are the balanced personalities? Where are they going nowadays? We need to bring those balanced personalities back, okay? The one that has the intelligence to see at both the sides of the coin. The one who has the ability or the keenness to know the other person's point of view. That itself is a very important etiquette. That itself is going to make you very presentable in your networking. And other points are pretty common. I'm sure you will learn as you're exposed to certain experiences in life, but always have a good posture. If you're at a party and you're holding a drink in your hand, soft drink, water, anything, hold it in your left hand. Why? Because you're going to shake hands with the right hand. You don't want hold a drink in your right hand and then shake with the right hand that is already wet because of the drink, okay? So use that little common sense as well. Make sure that you're not hogging onto food. You don't want to be spotted as a person at a networking event who wants to do what we say in Hindi sometimes, paisa vasool. You have paid 500 rupees for the networking event, now you want to eat all the food. No, you're there for networking, not for eating the food. So present yourself. Greet people respectfully. Make sure that you do some background work about the institute or the body that is doing the networking sessions. But that's also going to help you in your interviews later on. For example, if you meet someone from Cisco, okay, someone who is at a very high post, you meet that person at a networking event, okay? You conduct yourself well, you got a good etiquette, you're dressed well, got good grades, everything. You're being assertive, you're not being aggressive. But let's say you have no idea about Cisco, no idea whom they are getting into a partnership with, no idea about their policies, no idea what they do. It's not going to look that great on you, okay? It may not be that bad because you're not technically in an interview, but still try to look at, if I were in your place, I would say, well, okay, what's my field of engineering? This is my field. Top 10 companies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Okay, all the companies, all the key people in those companies, their portfolios, what have they been doing? Companies, what kind of partnerships are they onto? What kind of products have they developed? What controversies are they into? What government schemes are they taking advantage of? Are they in special economic zones? I would do all this study. Instead of listening to songs, I would study all these particular, business case studies on my phone while I'm on the train. Okay, so that is constructive. You're getting entertainment, you're getting something in your ears, but you're learning something from it as well. Okay, that's going to help you with your networking. That's going to help you supplement or complement your etiquette as well. Okay, a bit more on etiquette, people, but I'm not going to bore you with more with etiquette, but be considerate. What's really lacking a lot in this world today is consideration. What do I mean by that? Offering someone a seat is being considerate. Okay, if you reach home, you're tired, think about other members of your family. They must be tired as well. Consideration. If you're talking on a phone on a train, Someone is sitting next to you and you're going loudly, how yeah, what? The other person is going to be annoyed with your sound sometimes. Think about that other person. That's consideration. If you're bored and you just want to stare at someone, that person is going to be uncomfortable. Think about that. Consideration. Be considerate. It really helps with the personality. It really helps in life. Okay. The next part is conflict resolution, but conflict resolution is a big topic. The points that I gave you already will help you in conflict resolution automatically. That is being assertive, being clear, okay? But one thing in conflict resolution that I will tell you is very important. Actually, 2 points. And those points are: 1, acknowledge and accept that there is a problem. 2, have the readiness to come up with the solution. If you're going to argue with someone, if you're going to have a fight with someone, that is going nowhere. You don't want to reach a solution. You just want to come on top. It's not going to work. Okay. Understand the other person, understand the other point of view. Of course, be firm with what you're saying, but acknowledge that there is a problem and be ready that we have to move on. We have to move with a solution. Only then we can move on, okay? Sometimes it will mean that you have to compromise. But sometimes, and the good part is, collaborate and work together. It's not I win and you lose. It's not about we both lose. It's about let's both win. Let's both work together. I'll give you a tiny example, guys. 2 kids were fighting over an orange. They were fighting over an orange. They both wanted the orange. The parent came and said, a different scenario, okay? Parent comes and says, don't fight. Nobody gets the orange. Okay, bad kids. Everyone's losing. The parent comes and says, 50-50, fair, Everyone talks about fairness today. 50-50, you get half, you get half. Okay? Some of you may say, okay, that's a good solution. Sometimes a parent will come and say, okay, you don't deserve the orange. You have been bad. You deserve the orange. One kid gets the orange, other gets nothing. I'm not very happy with that solution. Solutions are these, the parent talks to the kids, asks the kids, why do you want the orange? Why do you want the orange? And through that, they come up with a solution. Guess what? One of the kid wanted orange juice. The other kid wanted the outer layer to use, as a shaving on one of the dessert that they were cooking. Win-win situation. Peel the orange, give the outer covering to one of the kid, juice the remaining pulp, give it to the other kid. Did anyone have to compromise? Not necessarily. Both got exactly what they wanted. I'm not saying life will always give you orange juice and the peel, okay? Sometimes there will be compromise. Let's accept it. But at least try to work to a solution that everyone is collaborating and moving forward, okay? That brings me to communication as well. Communication in life is very important. Speak up, and I cannot emphasize how important these 2 words are. Speak up, okay? Don't hold it to yourself. What does matter is how you speak up. I'm not saying be rude. I'm not saying interrupt. I'm not saying hurt other person. I'm not saying be aggressive. I'm not saying aim to come on top. I'm saying speak up. You can speak up politely. You can express yourself in a way that the other person feels like hearing you. You could speak in such a way that the other person will develop a feeling to hear your point of view. So communicate in that way. Is there a magic formula again? No. Start with your friends, start with your family, look into the mirror, practice, record yourself. Recording is the best. Imagine you're talking to yourself, record, and then check your recording and ask yourself, how do I look? And I don't mean how nice you look. What I mean is, do you appear aggressive? Do you appear intimidating? Do you appear accommodating? What kind of person do you appear? Work on that part. Critique yourself and work on that communication. Okay? And the last is, of course, stress and time management. Okay? Thousands and thousands of books on it. What I would say is list your priorities. Be very clear what is important. use different softwares. Nowadays, you have so many apps. I'm pretty old school and modern at the same time. I use my phone and I use my diary as well. And ask yourself, what is important? What is long-term? What is short-term? Where should I give more time? Where should I give less time? Where should I give time when I'm fresh with full energy? And what can I do when I'm feeling lethargic? If something is super important, don't do it when you get tired. If something is less important, don't do it when you're super fresh, okay? And the last part in stress and time management is something you don't want to hear, but I have to say it's reality. A lot of successful people, a lot of people who get things done, okay, focus less on entertainment and less on sleep. I'm not saying sleep less, okay? You need to get rest, but if you're oversleeping, question that, okay? Question, do you have to really oversleep, okay? Get the sleep that is necessary to stay healthy. That's fine. And look at pockets, gaps where you're wasting time, and ask yourself, what productive can you do in those gaps? Unfortunately, there is no wishy-washy answer. There is no super magical answer. We need to take efforts somewhere. And those efforts are very straightforward. If you're wasting time, if there are pockets where you could be doing something constructive, do it, okay? That's how you manage your time. There is no magical formula. Every person is different. They have their own styles. There is no one approach that's going to fit everyone, okay? And as you start managing your time, as you start working on your conflict resolution, your networking, your communication, you see, automatically, you're changing the world around you. These things will contribute to less stress in your life. So you don't have to work directly on de-stressing yourself, okay? Yoga is good, meditation is good, giving time to yourself through music is good, but you know what? All these things are artificial. End of the day, they're external. If you truly want to do it deep within, or meditate is good, yoga is good. In that case, work on those and all the points that I told you. So that will be a very good, full, it'll give you complete coverage, okay? It'll put you in synergy with the environment outside and help you de-stress. So you won't have to you won't have to stress about de-stressing. It'll automatically happen, okay? There's also one more point on my screen, which is very relevant in today's era, in today's times, and that is managing trolls, okay? Guys, ask yourself this, okay? When you're about to post something online, is it worth it? Is it going to deliver the results? And are you going to be trolled for it? If you're going to be trolled for it, one, don't do it because not worth it, or two, don't focus on the trolls, okay? Trolls are people who just don't care about anyone. All they want to do is disrupt other people's lives. Sometimes they are fake accounts. It's, the inner frustration that they want to take out. Sometimes they are bots. Sometimes they just take, happiness in making other people feel terrible. Forget those trolls, okay? Think about people that matter in your life. If you feel that you want to voice your opinion and you don't want to be trolled, speak to the people that are important to you in your life, okay? Speak to educated, high-level people. Speak to your lecturer. Speak to your staff. Just tell your staff member, sir or ma'am, I really I feel passionate about this topic. I just want to express myself. Even if your staff doesn't agree, they will say, very good point. I like the way you're thinking, okay? We may not agree, but we can have a discussion. That is good. That is constructive. If you're just going to put it online and you're going to be trolled, either know how to manage trolls and either be strong enough to neglect the trolls. Otherwise, just try to avoid anything. And trust me, this does play a role. One of the top 10 reasons why people are stressed in today's world is because of trolls, because they react to trolls. They feel hurt. They feel insecure because of other people who are trolling them. So ask yourself, is it worth it? Okay. On that note, there's also one question that was asked about my think tank. So all you guys need to do is connect with me. You can connect with me on LinkedIn as well. Just type my name, Eshan Arya, and maybe 2 or 3 Eshan Aryas will come up. You know my face by now. You can look at my credentials. You will know it is me. Or you can watch my YouTube videos, or you can just Google me. You can on YouTube, you can type Eshan Arya or type exactly the way I've told you. Otherwise, you won't get the result. INS Nissan. So if you type that, you will get my think tank and a few videos that I post, and you can engage in those as well, or you can communicate with me through those. So I thank all of you for being a brilliant audience and also contributing in the chat box. I also thank the staff and the faculty at Thakur College for all your assistance and organizing this session. So it's an adios from me. I will be in touch with all of you through LinkedIn and through YouTube. The staff can share my details with you as well. So take care, guys. Thank you very much. I think we have around, the staff can correct me, but I think we got around 20 minutes for question and answers. Happy to take any questions or suggestions that students are after.
Yes, sir. We can have the question answer. Yes, students.
Kiran, you can invite the
Yes,
questions
yes.
from the students.
Yes, yes. Yes, students. Please raise your hands so you can unmute yourself. Yes, student, please come up with some doubts. Yes. Anyone, please?
Okay, what I'll do, students can think about
Sir,
questions.
we have one question, sir, from this Dhirav Nahar. Yes, Dhirav, you can unmute yourself.
I wanted to ask the question to Eshan, sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, are you associated with AJKA in karate?
I do Goju Ryu, so I'm not associated with AJKA. I'm associated with World Martial Arts Organization, Jiu-Jitsu Federation of India, and Shinbukan Goju Ryu.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Also, I had another question in the chat box. One of the students said, if they want to be an entrepreneur, could they read or follow Steve Jobs? Certainly, absolutely. But you know what I would say again? I would say follow people or look at, read a variety, of books or follow different types of people. So look at someone who is a very small entrepreneur. Look at someone who is a social entrepreneur as well. So someone has been doing a lot of entrepreneurial work for the society. Look for not-for-profit entrepreneurs too. Look for eco entrepreneurs as well. They're called ecopreneurs. So people who focus specifically on technology for the environment. And then look at Steve Jobs and Elon Musk and everyone else. So you're not just focusing on one person. I'm not saying don't follow Steve Jobs, but then you're looking at a variety of people, right from a village level, right from someone who has contributed brilliant technology for the society, but have been humble themselves, to someone, of course, who has reached the top as well.
Yes, Abhishek.
Hello, sir.
Hello, Abhishek.
So my question to you is that, sir, I'm very glad to listen you, sir, before the lots of a time. And my question is to that, sir, engineering is an undergraduate degree, which automatically create a pressure on our mind. As you said that, sir, you don't be focused that what is success. But sir, if we don't think what the success, then success is automatically boost my passionation towards my destination. So can you, sir, little bit say about why should we not focus the success?
Because Abhishek, success will follow you. So don't chase success. Okay, try to focus on motivation. If you are not motivated, you're not going to lead the path of success. If you don't learn about failure, you will not really understand what success is. You know what many times happens? Many people are successful, but they are imagining success to be something else. So even if they are successful in life, they are not happy, they are not content, because they have made up their mind, success is so many properties, so many cars, a dream job with this package. That is success for them. But maybe they are successful in life. They are making an impact on someone. They are being a nice citizen of the country. They are being a good role model with somebody else. They're taking care of their parents, their family, or other people, doing some volunteer work. You know what? That is success as well. So that's why, I don't want students to focus on success in a way that you make up your mind and lock yourself saying that is success or anything else is not. Okay, always dream big, no problem at all. But when you're chasing something that you're locking your mind onto, it can lead to, depression. It can feel to feeling of failing when you're really not failing. So that was my entire point. Okay, I'm not saying don't think about success ever. I'm not saying that. Okay, of course we all have our dreams and we like to daydream as well, but let that not be the center, the core of your thought process. That's what I was trying to say.
Yes, anyone please? Next.
There is one
Yes,
question
student, please.
from Kamal, I think in the chat box. Kamal is saying,
Okay, sir.
how do we overcome confusion? Kamal, would you like to tell me what kind of confusion are you talking about in general, or just generic confusion? You can type as well, Kamal, if you want.
Yes, Kamal Chaudhary, you can. Yes, you can speak up.
Sir, in life there are many stages where you face many paths, but we are very confused about where to go. And there are many things that we like, that यहाँ पे भी जाना है, वहाँ पे भी जाना है, but actually कहाँ पे जाना है वो नहीं, sir. We are confused about that.
So clarity is important, isn't it, Kamal? And I think if you answer the first question that I told you, at the start of the class, what am I doing here? Where am I right now? What's going on? If you start answering those questions, that confusion will slowly start going away. It's not magic again. It's not that you think of a question and confusion gone. It will come back otherwise, okay? But keep asking yourself, like, what is your purpose? Why have you chosen engineering? Okay, is it because of money? Is it because of family pressure, society pressure? Or is it because, you scored good marks and that's what everyone else does? Or is it because you want to, get patents later on in your life, do a PhD, be a researcher, contribute something? So be very clear, what do you want in your life? And if that is not clear, ask yourself what's going to give you happiness. Okay, what's going to give you that content feeling? And that's why I gave you a list of questions that I've asked myself. You don't have to ask yourself those questions. You can ask a different set of questions. But before going to sleep, I ask myself, have I played a positive part in someone's life? Am I sleeping guilt-free? For me, once I start answering those questions automatically, slowly, that lack of clarity starts going away. And I start getting very clear. Okay, this is my objective. This is what I really want. Okay, this is what I'm really after. So all these things have to work together. Okay, and then you'll actually get some clarity. But of course, if you get confusion, don't stress about it. Okay, there can be a very. I have an economics background as well. We always talk about opportunity cost. So you can always use opportunity cost as well. You can say, if I go this way, what am I giving up? Cost benefit analysis. If I go this way, cost benefit analysis, come up with the solution that suits you. So that is also fine. But that is, I think, sometimes too structured. You shouldn't be too structured with these kind of questions. Reflecting yourself inside, introspective, having that introspective is very important. That's what I feel. One student is saying he wants to give UPSC exam but doesn't know how to manage time with the college. Tough life, huh? If you want to do and life is not easy, trust me, for students in India, especially doing engineering and want to do the civil service exam. Life is not easy. See, with the civil services exam, of course, there will be classes and you will need really detailed knowledge about everything around. I would suggest, a starting point. I'm not giving you a full solution, but a starting point would be jot down areas, okay, that are important in civil services. So you need to know all the policies of the government, okay? You need to know the major rules and regulations in India. You need to know the history. You need to know about the history of different states, population, sex ratio, okay? What are the problems in those particular states? Who are the ministers? So make a little chart, okay, of all the areas that are important in the exam. And in your free time, now when I say free time, maybe you don't have it. When you're on the train, in the rickshaw, taxi, listening, listen to YouTube videos in those areas, like an interest, like a story. So that way you're not stressing too much. Okay, that I have to study. But if you're, for example, YouTubing history of Uttar Pradesh, for example, okay? Listen to it like a story, okay? Who were the early rulers in Uttar Pradesh? What kind of schemes are in UP? Who were the chief ministers? What is the sex ratio? Okay, male to female, that is. Other things, what is the schooling? What is the university structure? Look at all those things like a story, okay? So that way you will feel interested. And by the time you reach that point where you're going full on with your civil services preparation, it won't come up like a stress, okay? It will come naturally to you out of interest. I will read a question by Rohit, but in the meantime, if anyone else wants to unmute and ask, please do that as well.
Yes, student, please raise your hand. Yes, Akash Dubey. Yes, Akash. Yes, Akash, speak up, please. I think his bandwidth. Yes, yes, Akash.
Write in chat box.
Akash, in the meantime, I'll read a very elaborate question by a student called Rohit Pal. So Rohit is basically asking, from what I'm reading, everyone has sent me a private message, but basically Rohit is asking if you're from a background where the focus is on earning money and, you know, taking up education, but you know, you probably like something else. That's what I'm getting from the question. You have joy somewhere else. How do you overcome this particular chaos? I'll tell you, Rohit, a very simple example of my father. He came from that family background where he was told to join a particular field and do a particular job. He had interest in merchant navy. He loved the sea. He wanted to get into the navy. That was his passion. You know what he did? He left home. He was 17 years old. He left home, literally 10 rupees in his pocket, and took on life completely the way it came. Gave all the exams, did his studies under street light. Okay, he came from a good family. Even then he did that. Went to a hostel, went to the quarters where they were training the cadets, gave the exams, got top marks, entered that field because he knew that's what he wanted. That was his purpose. That was his passion. So sometimes, unfortunately, Rohit, you have to take those drastic steps. Be very clear. You know, are you someone who wants to not to go against their parents? Then okay, be clear, and then don't be guilty about it. You know, then be very clear and be proud that yes, you are someone who wants to do what the family wants you to do, and that is where your happiness lies. No problem. But if you know that's not what you want, sometimes you've got to take the leap of faith. You have to go for what you want to go for, and don't worry if you fail. At least you know that you tried. At least you will not have that guilt in life that you never did something, you know, when that you really wanted to pursue. So that's what I would say to Rohit. There's a few questions coming in. I'm trying to catch up with them, but like I said, anyone can ask me in the meantime. Unmute.
Yes, Abhishek is there, sir, in the line. Abhishek wants to ask something.
Abhishek.
Hello,
yes,
sir.
Abhishek.
Sir, once again, Abhishek Mishra. Sir, my question is not related to these sections, whatever we have see. But sir, you are a right person to ask this question as you have visited more foreign countries. So, sir, what about your think towards the Indian engineers, and what is the impact of Indian engineers on the other country, and little bit?
Okay, a very interesting question, Abhishek, and I would say very controversial as well, isn't it? I'll be very frank with you. I would say there are plus points and minus points to Indian engineers. Okay, first of all, to answer your question, now I'm in Australia. That's where I got more experience, but a lot of Indian engineers doing great in the US. Okay, US is like the hub for engineers, so we are doing great. Indian engineers have a good reputation. There is no doubt about it. Okay, and they're making the country proud as well. Now, as far as a few other countries are concerned, UK, USA, sorry, not US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand as well, many Indian engineers are actually changing their field. So most of them are actually coming to these countries to migrate, and they're taking up fields other than engineering. So they're not really pursuing something in that area or contributing their knowledge, you know, in that particular field. That's happening more in the States. But apart from that, the plus and minus point that I was talking about, if you go overseas, if you go abroad, in Western countries, one of the strong points that Indian engineers or any science students in India have is the ability to memorize. Now, I know a lot of movies have been made, and a lot of people say, you know, in India there is rote learning. Rote learning is what we say in slang, rakta. So rote learning in India, and which is not good. There is no application. But you know what? There is a little benefit. In Indian students in engineering, they have brilliant memory. Okay, they can memorize formulae, they can do derivations of pages and pages. So that is your plus point that you can take forward with you. When I teach economics sometimes, you know, and I do all the equations mentally, some of my students just get baffled. They go, how do you do all this mathematics? And I just say, that's my training, that's my grooming, you know, it comes to me, math automatically. In a lot of Western countries, engineers or other people, they apply, they are very, very good, really good in application, but they over rely on technology. So sometimes, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but sometimes even if they want to do 5 plus 5, they will take out a calculator. It doesn't mean they are less intelligent, they are good, they know application, but that numeric skills, you know, they really lack. And I think Indian engineers have that. They can memorize things, they have very good numeric skills. I think that is a plus point, you know, when it comes to interviews, that they can really demonstrate or they can take forward. But as far as contribution goes, you know, like I said, again, apart from US, in other countries, it's not that great. I'm not saying they're not doing anything, but it's not that great. You'll be shocked, in Australia, a lot of engineers are driving taxis. Now, that's a topic for another day, but that's the sad reality. All right, I hope I answered your question. There was another question from Gaurav Padam. It was more about spirituality. Gaurav, I won't go into too much detail, but Gaurav is asking me, in everything that I said, do I owe some of my views to spirituality and meditation? This is something very personal, but yes, Gaurav, I do. For me, spirituality is very important. Meditation, spirituality, and whatever my religious faith is, I think that does play a role, but I think everyone can find their own faith. Everyone can, whether you have faith or you don't have faith, even if you are you know, a believer or non-believer, doesn't matter. Everyone can focus on something that really motivates them. Gaurav is asking if spirituality plays a role. It does, Gaurav. To answer your question in the chat box, there's another question in the chat box by Vaishnavi. Is being emotional good or bad? Be emotional, no problem, but make sure it doesn't interrupt your day-to-day life. So burst out, cry, let it out, let people close to know you know about your emotions, but make sure it doesn't come in the way when you're doing a constructive job. If I want to cry, okay, grown-ups cry, men cry, women cry, everyone cries, okay? So cry it out, no problem at all, but make sure you're not, I shouldn't start crying when I'm lecturing you because I'm emotional, right? I should know when it's the right time, when I can be myself and let my emotions out. So Vaishnavi is asking, is being emotional good or bad? It depends where you are being emotional. That's more important. Manish Shetty is asking in the chat box how you used to manage two different mindset, a fighting one, that is karate, and a helping one. Manish, this is very simple. We were not trained in karate to hit people. For us, karate was always self-defense. In Australia, it's very funny. You can't hit someone. If I hit someone, there'll be a case of assault against me, finished, my life will be over. So defense, defense, and defense. So it's actually complementary. If you want to help someone in need, if someone is being mugged at night, use your karate to save that person. Okay, if someone is beating a person on the street, stop the fight, use your karate skills. So it was, and Akash Dubey is saying, may I speak up? I'm not sure whether this was an old message on you. And then Himanshu.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, Akash.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Yes, go ahead, Akash.
Sir, I am asking something. When we are doing our degrees, many times in our mind, it's come that we should leave this and do something else. Many times it comes. We should leave the degree or drop this year, do the again, or either we should think like that, we should drop the studies. Why do we studies do something else? I have been interested in, I am in a wrong field and something else. This thing, how it come in mind, that I don't know. But it many times it's come in mind. While I was doing, while I was studying in 10th, 12th, every time. I want to tackle with this question.
It is a dilemma, Akash, isn't it? And there is no one single answer for this. It's just it's my perspective. I would say yes, it's natural to think about this part, and it is okay as far as you got time in your hand. As you start getting older and older, you start running out of options. You can't start all over again. It takes up time. So ask yourself, be real. That is very important. You can get your emotions in the way, but try to be practical as much as possible. Ask yourself, what's your age? What is your aim in life? Do you want to settle down at a particular age? What is your definition of settling down? For someone, settling down means getting your own house. For someone, settling down is getting a full-time job. For someone, settling down is getting married, having kids. What is your definition of settling down? What is your limit? Until what age do you want to do that? If you change your field now, is that going to affect your initial plan? Are you prepared to tackle that? Like I said in one of the questions, accept the challenges, accept your actions, be ready for the results, the consequences. So if this thing comes to your mind, am I in the wrong field? Should I change? Give yourself time. If you change, if you go to another field, okay, how many years are you going to waste? Is it wasting or is it investing? Okay, when will you get a job? Is that going to create a ripple effect? It depends. Everyone comes from different backgrounds in the society. If you are someone going for arranged marriage, are those people going to say, why is the groom's age so high? Why is the education still low? Ask all these questions. It's not whether I agree or not. Let's be real, from a societal point of view, there are certain cultural aspects that you will have to think about as well. And ask yourself, are you giving up because it's difficult? Or is it because you're tired? Or is it because you're not in this because of interest in the first place? And that's why I told everyone, many of us later in our lives do ask this question, what am I doing here? You guys are young, so good to ask this question now, make the changes, but then have that fighter attitude. Don't give up then, okay? Now, sometimes
is really helpful.
Sometimes there are options as well. You can mix the degrees. You can go for a particular bachelor's. For master's, you go for the other field. If you have interest in finance, banking, do an MBA in finance afterwards. For that, you don't have to give up your engineering. Okay, so ask yourself if you can do further education or do multiple degrees and get everything, best of both the worlds instead of giving up one altogether.
One more question.
Sorry, just one quick announcement. What I will do is I'm going to quickly give my email address in the chat box because I know a lot of students are having questions. And if I don't answer everyone's, I don't want you to leave, without your question being answered. So get in touch with me. So what I'll do quickly, I'll first give you my email address, okay? So we can be in touch. So take that first. I'm writing it in the chat box. Okay, so my email's in the chat box. So if I'm not able to answer some of your questions, get in touch with me by email. We can have a chat. All right, staff, whom should I answer next?
Yes, sir. We can take one or two questions. Then we can wind up the session.
Yes, Kiran. Yeah.
Yes. Akash, now we can have some different students. As sir has given time to him. Yes, anyone, please? Please raise the hand if you are having the doubt. Yes. Otherwise, sir, you can take one single question from chat box.
Shrushti, I think Shrushti Sankhe is saying, what is your biggest secret to be successful? No secret. First of all, like I said, I don't believe, or I don't ask, I don't like to get into that mode whether I'm successful or not. What I have been taught since my childhood from my parents is whatever I do with passion. So I'm taking life as it comes. When it comes to martial arts, I do it with full passion. When I teach, when I give my lectures, I do it with full passion. And like I said, I ask myself those questions at night. Am I making people around me comfortable? Am I a positive role model? Those, shaping my life accordingly itself is my secret, Shrishti. No other secret. There is one student asking,
Okay.
Darsh is asking about how to grow professionally and personality-wise in foreign countries. Darsh, good question. I have a lot to tell you about it. Send me an email. I'll give you a detailed answer about life in foreign countries and what you need to do. It's not a one-line answer, that's why.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot. Now I will hand over the session to Sajjan sir for vote of thanks.
Okay. Good evening, sir. I would like to express our sincere gratitude to management for their valuable guidance and never-ending support in all endeavors taken by TCET. I am very much thankful to our reservoir of knowledge and a true leader, visionary, principal, Dr. B.K. Misra. His continuous input and guidance have led us to arrange this student induction program. I also thank Vice Principal Dr. Devensa Deans for the active involvement. I thank HOD Dr. Sunita Pachodi and Deputy HOD Dr.